So we are looking at the S&P 500 or the SPY, and we are in the last 30 minutes of the market. And y'all, I want to show you how it's really important to know where you're going to have trouble at, right? So the SPY, we had some reversal candles here, and it told us that was this indication that it could possibly change direction. You know, it consolidated for a while over here. We got some reversal candles here. My MACD it crossed here, but I don't like to see those lines that close to one another before I enter my trade. So I start looking. I probably would have entered somewhere around here. And look, my second confirmation, which would have been here, which is my 5 and my 50 EMA crossing. Second confirmation, you know, I always like to look for at least two. So MACD crossing one and 5 and 50 crossing is two. However, I knew that we were going to have some trouble here, which was the looks like the ATR trailing stop and my VWAP. So that was trouble. Well, guess what? We broke through that resistance and we ran all the way up to that Fibonacci level here. Kept right on going through that. I was like, okay, well, there has to be a stopping point. Something's going to stop the SPY. And sure enough, it got rejected here at this ORB low. And when I go to a different time frame, here is the 30-minute. This is what actually stopped the SPY, and that was the 50 EMA on the 30-minute chart. So if I go back to the 5-minute, it tells me it's right here. So let's go to the 30-minute and let me see if I can mark that. And y'all, I hope that my mouse is not being too loud with the clicking. So I'm going to mark that here. Okay, maybe it's not going to let me do that because I'm recording. Okay, we know that that is the 50 EMA on the 30-minute chart. So that's where SPY got rejected. So if you were looking to enter the SPY to the downside or for a put, meaning you believe it's going to go down, I would have bought it here off of rejection because it told me on a 30-minute chart that SPY just got rejected at the 50 EMA. So I would have entered a put here on that rejection. And my MACD cross, which is here, confirmation. I am waiting on that 5 and 50 to cross. That will be my second confirmation. And that will give me a little bit more confirmation to let me know that I am on the right side of the trade versus, you know, I should be trading in the opposite direction. So I would have entered here. I would have continued in this. Now this is an ATR trailing stop. It tells me that SPY is going to have trouble at 413.51. And again, the market is still open. And I need to pay attention to, is it going to find support here and bounce back up to the upside? Do I have any other places that could possibly give me trouble? Well, right now it's trading under the 5 EMA on the 30-minute chart. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. It tells me it's already under the 5 EMA on the 1-hour chart. And on the 4-hour chart, I do not have any trouble below, or I'm not seeing any trouble. Let's say that. So I'm going to go back to the 5-minute chart. That's where we were looking. I'm still in a put at this point. I bought it off of rejection. I know that my support is right here at the 413. This is where I need to be watching the SPY. My MACD has crossed. My RSI is pointing down. So it is telling me I have a lot of confirmations to let me know that I am on the right side of this trade by trading it to the downside. Okay, so this is where my trouble place is. You can see SPY is coming to this place right here. Normally, the ATR trailing stop is very strong support or very strong resistance. So we have to be very careful at this place right here. So I need to watch the SPY and see what it's going to do from this point. And look, as you can see, my 5 and my 50, MACD is already crossed. MACD is here. My 5 and 50, which is what I was waiting as another confirmation, is actually beginning to cross. Again, I need to watch this level here to make sure that it's not going to find support here and continue back to the upside. 5 and 50 confirmation to me is a continuation to the downside, but hey, we'll watch it and see where it goes. And y'all, I sometimes, if I'm in the trade, I like to look at the 1 minute chart. A lot of people don't like to trade the 1 minute. Some people like the 2 minute. You have to find what works for you. The 1 minute is very, very busy and it can give you false signals if you're not careful. But if I'm in the trade, I need to know what's going on right now. So for look, demo purpose or teaching purpose, we're going to go to the 1 minute chart and I just want to see where the spot is. Did I see any trouble on the 1 minute chart? I do not. And looking at this on the 1 minute, it tells me again that I am in the right direction of this chart of this trade to the downside. My MACD did cross and the 5 and 50 did cross. So yeah, that was just another confirmation that we are going in the right direction. It does tell me here on the 1 minute that SPY is oversold. So I need to be careful right here. So I'm going to go back to that 5 minute chart and I'm going to see where this was my trouble place. That 413 here was my trouble place. I needed to see if SPY was going to find support or break through this place. And it looks like we may find, and keep in mind that when we're finding support, we could very well come down just a little bit and go back to the upside. Just because it doesn't close above it, it could still find support there and go back to the upside. So it looks like on the 5 minute chart that SPY looks to be breaking through that trouble place for me, which was the ATR trailing stop. And I'm going to go to the 30 minute. Yeah. So I don't see anything down here that will tell me that we're going to have trouble. And again, on the 1 hour, I didn't see anything to let me know that we're going to have trouble. To me, it looks like SPY is continuing to the downside. My 5 and 50 is pointing down and it's crossing here. MACD has already crossed and my RSI is down. So again, I will be in a put on the SPY. And my reason for buying that put was it got rejected off of this ORB low. It went up, got rejected here. And it also got rejected on the 50 EMA. So I always look for, other ways to confirm what I'm seeing to where I'm not just jumping into something. I look for confirmation. And yeah, again, we're looking at the SPY on the 5 minute chart. It ran up, got rejected, bought off rejection, and I'm just riding the 5. And guess what? It is under the 5 EMA, which is right. This is above the 5. These are the 5 EMA is the blue line here. I would not be on the downside of this trade if my candles are above that blue line. Now that my candles are below the blue line, it tells me that I should be in the downside of this trade. So yeah, and SPY broke straight. It continued on through that resistance, meaning it kept on going down. I'm going to look at the 1 minute chart again just to see where we are and what the candles are looking like. And it tells me that we are still trading under the 5. That looks like a hammer, so I need to be careful right here. The MACD seemed to be flattening just a little bit, so I need to be careful here. So is the SPY going to find some type of support and go back to the upside? I don't see that. However, anything is possible. Don't ever, ever, ever rule out anything, because anything in the market is possible. Yeah. I'm excited. So yeah, we're still headed to the downside. I really like the power hour, which is, the last hour, the last 30 minutes of the market. I like trading that. I get in early morning and then I get in the afternoon because that works better for me. And you have to find what works best for you. If you don't have the time to do it all day long, then find what time you can get in and make some money and then get out. So again, we are looking at the SPY. And we bought off rejection here, and we're continuing to the downside, and I don't see any support. MACD is still crossed, 5 and 50 is still crossed, and we are headed down. So again, I am still in a put. So yeah, I just wanted to give you some little helpful hints or tips while the market was open so that we can see how it's actually moving. Looking at the 30-minute chart, yeah, y'all, so it is very important that we go and mark those places that we're going to have trouble, because when the market first opened, I went in and I marked that 50 EMA, and you can see that SPY ran up to that, got rejected. It hit the 30 right here it got rejected here and came back down. Every time that I marked those places, it showed me that that's where I was going to have trouble at, and that's exactly where we had trouble. And SPY is continuing to the downside, so I am again on the right side of this trade. My candles are still under the 5 EMA. My 5 and 50 has crossed. MACD is still crossed, and the RSI is still down. Y'all, I am riding the 5. I am super, super excited. So I hope you have learned something from this today. I am so, so excited. Yeah. Learning to trade the stock market one trade at a time. And y'all, I know sometimes it can get overwhelming, but listen, we just put one piece of the puzzle together at a time. You got this. You can do this.